David Yarborough, are you ready?
Hello.
And we need to,
Oh,
Jason needs to go up first. He's got the new net, if that's okay, if we can switch that around.
yeah, sure. Go ahead,
Uh,
Jason. We do have a quorum, by the way. Thanks, everybody,
Yes,
for hanging out
I'm
with us.
gonna, I'm gonna mute
yes, we
everybody.
do.
Okay, Jason, go ahead and unmute.
Sorry about that, guys. I just walked back into the room. Hey, thanks, Jim, for reaching out to Dr. Bob. That was just wonderful. I know, like everyone said. I do want to give my activities report update real quick before I need to jump off for another ham radio PSRG NoonNet. But hey, coming up, we've got Gordon West, WB6NOA. For the November activity, and he'll be providing a presentation on emergency ham radio comms. So that should be really exciting to hear. And then, of course, in December, we've got Kenny Richards coming on KU7M from WWARA, providing us a presentation on their evaluation of migrating the 2 meter and 440 repeater subbands to narrowband. So that should be an exciting presentation there. He's been going around a lot of the clubs and having some good discussions. So it'll be our December activity. And then I'd also like to reach out if anybody has donation items for potential future auctions. Please reach out to me directly and let's have a discussion. And I'm willing to drive your way and meet you at your at your driveway or a parking lot, what have you. But if you do have some good items that you think you're willing to part with and help fund our December prize, that would be wonderful. I'd appreciate to hear from you. So thanks again. And that's about it for me. I'll turn it back over to David. Thanks for letting me jump in.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. I guess we can excuse you if you're off to host a net. So I have a short list of acceptable excuses for missing the club meeting. That I guess could be one of them.
Appreciate that. I need to adjust, but yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll start with the president's report. I actually have a couple things to mention for you today. First was, as published in the relay, we formed a committee to recognize the club's 50th anniversary. So this year, starting now in October, is the 50th year that the club has been in continuous operation. It was originally founded a little earlier. And Chuck, WA7EVH, was kind enough to write an extensive, but I'm sure condensed and simplified club history that is in the relay. Super interesting for all of you to see the different names and locations and things the club has focused on over the years. So I really appreciate Chuck, who's one of the founding members of the club and is here with us today. I appreciate him writing that article. So I just wanted to mention that to everyone. So you'll be hearing in coming months from the 50th anniversary committee, such as it will be, and they'll be planning and talking about various activities that we'll be doing throughout the next 12 months to recognize the 50th anniversary of the club. Another thing I wanted to mention, hopefully you've all noticed, we really try to move quickly through these business meetings and make it not be too boring and businessy. So I wanted to remind everybody that the real meaty, like nuts and bolts business of the club happens during the board meetings, which occur on the evening of Tuesday evening of the first Tuesday of every month. Obviously, it's virtual, and all club members are welcome to attend. Watch how the board does business and even comment. We're always happy to take your input. So I just want to remind everyone, if you're kind of wondering, like, why are these guys creating committees and doing all these different things you never talked about before? The board meeting is really where most of the business happens, and we're happy to welcome any club members who would like to join the board meeting to monitor us and make sure we're on our best behavior. So on
David,
that note, sorry.
David, I'll just toss this out real quick. I'll make sure that the board meeting and all of the Zoom meeting uh, parameters are in the groups IO, and I'll pin them to the top so that you can always find them. And I'll also do that for the relay. Okay,
Awesome. Yeah, that's
thanks.
great. Thanks for that, Jim. And thanks to Jim for coordinating all these things. I appreciate it. Several people have commented to me, particularly people who have come to our meetings from other clubs about how smooth our meetings are relative to other meetings that they've joined. And really a lot of that has to do with the hard work that Jim puts behind the scenes. So I really appreciate Jim for that, because it's hard to make it look easy. So let's move on to Phil, K7PIA, the Vice President. Phil, what do you have for us?
Hey everybody, K7PIA, your lovely president here, or vice president here, rather. And I've got, let's see, 6 new members to for you guys' consideration today. Let me go ahead and bring that up for you. Hold on. It's gallery mode. There we go. Okay.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
There may be more than 6, actually.
It's like, oh, I guess Megan and it's like Megan, Rob's wife had to. It's like they had to jet off, so they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see here, KI7DLN Chris. It's like I don't see an application for him yet, so yeah, be sure to apply there, Chris, and we'll get you in as soon as we can. So I got 6 under consideration for today. So the first one is Dave, KI7 or KI7 VLV. Go ahead and say a few words for us.
Hi, I'm Dave, KI7 VLV, and I've been listening for a number of years, starting as a scanner geek, and that kind of got me interested. So I started pursuing more ham radio, started hearing PSRG and some other clubs like Washington, and but I've kind of gravitated towards you guys just based on the technical aptitude and the friendliness. I've actually noticed a distinction in friendliness between some clubs. I mean, nothing in particular, but I just noticed the welcoming, and the spirit of giving back is what I've noticed here. So that prompted me to join. And I bumped into a couple of people in person at Valiant Camps, and Mark W7EZ for one, who was really open and talking with me. And so he invited me to check out the TechNet on Fridays in the Zoom meetings. So I'm hooked. And I thought I should be part of a club. I like the organization. I like the spirit of giving. So thanks for your consideration.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Anybody have any questions for him, or comments or concerns or anything? Go ahead and unmute and just talk. I'm not hearing anything. So hey Jim, so are we doing are we excusing them all at once at the end?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it like last month, where we just keep everybody, get the comments first, and then we'll take them out of the room and do the votes as a group and bring them back in.
So kind of like how we do it at the actual meetings. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, moving along here to the next one here. We got KJ7 KSX. John, go ahead and say a few words for us.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I became interested in Mike and Key when I learned about them, when I took my technical class license exam last November out at the Salvation Army. Just was getting started in ham radio at the time. I've been into amateur radio since I was a kid, but only listening on shortwave, and Dad bought a shortwave radio. We built a 50-foot inverted L antenna, and I collected QSL cards from all over the world. And then many, many, many years later, and very interested in physics and electronics and all of that, finally pulled the trigger to get into it seriously. And last November, I got my first radio. I just recently put up a ladder-fed dipole antenna, totally into this, obsessed with it. And I really like what I'm hearing on Mike and Key. I participate in a bunch of, 70 centimeter and 2 meter nets and that sort of thing, listening on HF. I'm going to take my general license here probably in the next week or two when I can get scheduled. And really appreciate your consideration for me to join the club, and I look forward to becoming a useful participant in activities.
Okay, great. Thanks, John. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? Go ahead and just speak up.
What is he doing the fourth full weekend in June?
Of course.
I don't know what that's for, but
Are you
Ooh.
free? That's all I need to know.
okay.
I'm just asking. Field day. So field day happens the fourth. Always happens the fourth full weekend in June. So it's a really big deal for us. I feel like we always have to ask that question.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I had planned, but I'd love to participate in that and help out.
All right, block out the calendar now.
Okay.
Trust me, it's worth
the
it.
swap meet. Don't forget the swap meet, Phil.
Oh, of course. So again, that is normally on the first or second weekend or Saturday of March, and we always need lots of hands for that. So, and it's a good time. So, is there anything else for John before we move on? Not hearing anything. Okay. Next up we've got another John. That's KJ7 Romeo Delta Victor. Go ahead and say a few words for the group here.
Hello, I'm John Sambrook. I live in Kirkland, 61 years old, new amateur. Just took my technician class license maybe a few weeks ago, I think, at this point in time. I'm noticing that living here in a condo is not the most amenable to putting up antennas. So we're looking at moving out maybe to Snohomish. I've been involved, excuse me, I've been involved in electronics as a hobby much of my life. Started with what someone had called hollow state devices, vacuum tubes years and years ago when I was a young man, and really enjoyed it, but never actually pursued amateur radio, even though it was interesting to me at the time. Most of my career has been invested in writing software or doing systems administration work. I write software for ultrasound systems, medical ultrasound systems, and research ultrasound systems. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the hobby. I've got 3 children that are now grown, grandfather, and looking for more grandchildren here before too long. So I'm pleased. I found the club. I had a look at the website, and I've enjoyed the interactions that I've had so far, especially this morning. So with that, let's take any questions you might have.
Go ahead and just speak up if you have anything for John.
What's your plan for field day this year?
Of course.
Coming up.
I'll have to check and see what obligations may already be pending for me that I'm not aware of, but I would definitely be interested in it if I'm available. So that sounds great. I'd love to. I'm actually here because, it's important to me to actually make connections with people. I like the hobby and that's interesting to me, but I like the public service aspect and I like connecting with people of all kinds. So.
Yep, that's what we're all about for sure. Anybody else with anything before we move along? Not hearing anything. So next here on my list, I've got another John, W7JDK. Go ahead and say a few words for the club here. Is he there, John? Let me go take a look on my participants list here. Might have already Jed left. Yep, he's gone. Well, I'll move him over to the visitors list, and then hopefully he'll be back next month. Okay, let's see if Rex is still here. KU2K, go ahead and say a few words for the group here.
Well, good day to you. I found Mike and Key, I think sometime last summer. I was simply dialing and came to it and was very, very interested. I think I found the social net first and enjoyed talking with people there, and then found the tech net and became fascinated, absolutely fascinated. I was struggling with some antenna issues and was able to ask questions. And so I have been on the social net and the tech net a number of different times. And as I did that, I began to realize that I was taking time and not giving anything back. And I thought, gee, this is a club I'd like to join and people I'd like to know more about. And I found the group to be very, very friendly and welcoming and open. And as I spent more time, and I think I've talked with a number of you and several different times, it just became more and more fun. And I thought, this is something I want to do. And so I think I talked with Manfred first and decided that I would like to do so. And so it's been a pleasure, and I hope that it will continue to be that. And I do want to become involved. And so I've enjoyed the experience. It's something that I enjoy and really want to do. And so I guess that's my quick story. I'll be willing and glad to help in any way I can. My schedule is pretty much wide open more than about 10 days from now. So you can count on me to do whatever I can do. Probably going to be mostly by Zoom, but we'll see. Anyway, that's my situation. I'll be glad to answer any questions if I may.
Go ahead. Yeah, thanks, Rex, for deciding to sign up for the club here. It's always been great to hear you on the social net. It's like I always enjoy your check-ins on the net. Is there anybody else that has any questions or comments for Rex? Just go ahead and speak up.
This
Mark here, W7EAZ. From all the 4 people that I've heard, they all have great net voices. Let's sign them up.
Yeah, we could always use some more net controls, whether as a sub or a backup, or because we can't make it every single week, and it'd be good to have more folks on board for sure.
Tim Kane, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, Rex, what's your occupational background? How'd you happen to get into ham radio?
You know, my wife decided to be involved with our emergency work in the area where we live. And so she's a block coordinator and knows a good deal about what needs to happen if we should have a physical emergency in this area. And I said, well, why don't you let me take the radio part of that? And that wasn't very long ago. And so I got a little handheld, a little Yaesu, and studied for a technician license. And I found that process really interesting and fun. And I thought, gosh, I'd like to learn more. I got the general license and studied some more and got the extra. And said, you know, I'm enjoying this a great deal. I'm going to get a base rig. And so I did that. That wasn't as long ago as my license, as my call sign might suggest. And that is why the TechNet's been so helpful to me, because I didn't know much about antennas other than what I had learned from books. And so I think I've wandered off your question, but that's kind of how that all happened. So I'm kind of a newcomer, you know, a year and a half of doing this. And in any case, that's kind of how I got there. Now, did I get completely off the topic?
I was just wondering, no, but what was your occupation before?
Oh, yes, right. I worked in aerospace for a while. I worked for the Coors Company for a long time, and then I became an entrepreneur and had my own businesses, some of which worked well and some didn't. And, luckily, we stopped the one that did, and that enabled us to come to the Northwest and live where we want to live. From Colorado originally, but this is the best place in the world to be, as far as I'm concerned. So, as I say, in aerospace, and I guess that's the answer to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Anything else before we move on?
Looks like John W7JDK has rejoined.
Okay, I'll go ahead and add him, put him back on the list here. Hold on one second while I adjust my spreadsheet here. There we go. Boom. Okay, well, let's go back up to W7JDK. John, a prospective member, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself for the club.
Yeah, I'm John Keeling. I've been a ham for just a few years. Let's see, I got my amateur extra last year. I've got an ICOM 7300, and I'm using a BFHW 8010 antenna, and mostly I go on 80 meters.
Oh.
I also have a handheld, a Bofang. And what do I want to do? I just want to learn a bit more about the art and science of radio.
Okay, great.
So,
okay. Anybody? Okay, great. Thanks, John. Anybody have any questions or comments? Let's go ahead and speak up.
Again, I would wonder, what did you do, John, before? What was your occupation?
Yeah, I was an environmental engineer for the state of Washington.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Where are you from originally, John?
Seattle.
You sure? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, you said Washington rather than Washington.
I know, and it's you know what it is? My mother did that, and I blame her all those years ago. Yes, I don't pronounce Washington properly.
Oh, okay. Well, because I used to do it and I had to change it once I moved here.
I try to change it, but I forget.
Okay.
It's so
ingrained. What are you doing the end of June, by the way?
What am I doing at the end of June?
Yeah, you're doing field day.
Oh yes, field day. Certainly. I've been to several field days.
Okay. Well, you haven't been to the best.
It is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I certainly want to do field day. Oh, and I come to the swap meet too.
Oh, great. Only the best one in the state.
Very.
Not only the swap meet, help us put it on.
I try to do that.
Can you pronounce Puyallup?
Yes.
Then you're qualified.
I pronounce Puyallup.
Cool, you're hired. Anything else?
No, I really didn't have anything else.
Okay, great. Thanks, John, for coming on in and putting in an application for our club here. Okay, well, I've got appears that I have two more left on my list here. It's like I missed one or two. Apologies. So we're gonna go ahead and go down to Ron, KK7GO. Are you there? Go ahead and say a few words for the club.
Yeah, hello everybody. Ron, KK7GO. I've known about the club since I was licensed in 1995, lived on Whidbey Island, and left there, went down to Monterey Bay area for a job with the state, and recently retired from the maritime industry, a glorified boat driver. But while in Monterey County, I was a comms unit leader for Monterey County EOC for a little bit. And then I was also a Santa Clara section emergency coordinator for a little bit and bugged out of there. Relocated, escaped California successfully, and I'm now in Yakima over the hill. Yeah, I'd be available for a field day. I enjoy doing that, but again, I'm over here, but I can work those things out, and I'd be interested to help you guys out with your auction stuff. Yeah. But anyway, I enjoy HF, not much with 2 meters or 70 centimeters, just kind of got into DMR trying to figure that out. But I got into radio because I was working in Baja California, and it was a way to call home and then help share weather and the whatnot to other boaters that were in that area. And then I also had a system on for being able to pass traffic. So that's about it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ron. Anybody have any questions or comments? Go ahead and speak up.
Did you say you lived in Yakima?
I live there now. We just relocated here about 3 months ago, bought a house, been knee deep in projects. Still got to figure out how to get a 4x4 by 6 foot hole in the ground and put the tower up, but that's kind of been put on the shelf until I get this other stuff done.
Wow, that's quite a commute.
It works.
That's why we do remote.
I'm sorry.
Where are the Northern Lights from?
Double.
Where are the Northern Lights from? Your background?
It was on the package on Zoom, and that's the one I liked.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark, that's your question about being remote. That's why we're doing Zoom meetings, and when we get back to physical, we're gonna definitely figure a way to continue to host virtual meetings for those that can't make the physical, because it's definitely made a difference.
Sure. I agreed with you, Jim. And yeah, it's the participation is way up in the club, and that's really encouraging. Okay. Anybody else with any questions or comments for Ron? Not hearing anything. So we got one more for you guys' consideration today, and that is Carl, KB4ZX. Go ahead and say a few words.
Yeah, hi, or good afternoon now. I had a license as a novice maybe 60 years ago and let that expire. And down in Florida, I did my tech license, and then I got my general license, and it took 2 tries, but I finally got my extra. I know I'm probably the only one that missed it the first time, right? And I've got my VE and done a couple of the volunteer exams up here when we were still able to get face-to-face. Looking to find a club that's a little bit more active here. Down in Florida, we had that Hamcation, kind of a big one in Orlando, and worked that with the club down there. And they had 2 clubs that I were active in down there. One was the Orlando, and the other one was the Lake Monroe. Moved up here because the daughter's up here. That's a good reason, right? And I'm in a condo, and they don't allow antennas. And I think it must be the phase that either that or it's that big hill behind me that I don't get out very good. But that's about it. I'm looking forward to joining your club, and I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you face to face.
Okay, great. Thanks, Carl, for saying a few words for us. And is there anybody that would like to ask a question or have any comments?
Yeah, THX does.
Okay, go ahead.
I too live in a condo, and one of the earlier applicants made reference to that. So, Carl, you're not alone, and there are solutions. I've been in a condo for, I have to stop and think, 8 years, 10 years, and only recently have I come up with multiple solutions. And I'm working the world from my condo now, so there is hope, and maybe we can have a Mike and Key condo committee.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Dick has his hand up.
Yes, Carl, from Orlando, did you happen to know N7TKA?
No, I don't.
Yeah, name's Jim. N7TKA, lived in Orlando.
I probably ran into him once or twice at the meetings, but I don't remember all of the call signs.
Okay, that could be. Yeah, he was my brother.
And so he invited you down there?
Oh, yeah, I went down there a few times.
You got to get down there and see Disney and Universal and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, he was involved with a company that built some of those installations down there. So I got to see it all from the inside. But anyway, just wondering if you'd known him.
No.
We've got a question from Calvin, too. Go ahead, Calvin.
Okay, I was just going to say, sounds like a good presentation for the Mike and Key to come up, how to talk from condos. That might be another presentation out there. It might be kind of fun. I know I did one many years back where I soldered tin cans together, and we had the Boeing Bears Club had a deal where they were inviting people from all over to come out and see what we did as ham radio operators. And my talk-in was on a tin can radios, and I had massive people show up to see the tin can radio antenna. And it was really nothing. I was nobody. I knew nothing about any of this. And literally, I just picked up an old antique QST magazine and said, I got to do this. And it was so fun. And so, you know, there is ways of doing it. I do that from my motorhome. I talked to my dad from Alaska down in a hole in a place with nothing more than a little antenna on the back of my motorhome that in the conditions I was in, I shouldn't even have been able to get him in Renton, but something happened right. Propagation was right, something bounced or something was right. And I was able to talk to him from Renton in probably the worst spot. And in the best spots, I wasn't even able to get him. So, you know, it can happen. But yeah, it sounds like a good presentation.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
thanks for a great show, Mike and Key. This was the best Mike and Key presentation I think I've ever seen. That was really fun.
Yep, agreed. That was a good presentation, and I'm looking forward to the next one here. Is there any other questions before we cast everyone out of the room real quick to vote on them? All right, go ahead, Jim, and we're at the end of the list here, so you can go ahead and do your duty.
Okay, I am going to slowly... I'm going to mute everybody first so that it reshuffles. And so, Phil, can you double check my work here? Dave is here. So Dave, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. And let's see. Was Chris Prosser KI7DLN, was he on your list? Phil?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't applied yet.
Okay, so we're going to skip that. Who is the next one? John, KJ7RDV.
Yep. And
Okay.
also KSX.
KSX, where'd it go? Scroll down. I'm not. What was the call again?
Yeah, it was a KJ7 KSX.
KJ7RDV.
Yeah, there are two Johns, both with KJ7 calls.
Okay.
Actually, there's 3 Johns.
But 2 with KJ7 calls.
And Rex was on the list, so okay.
Ron.
And Ron. I was really
Yo.
hoping that this would sort. And Carl. The sorting is kind of slow here. John, JDK. Was he on the list?
Yeah, JDK's there.
Okay. Sorry, folks. Okay, I think I've got everybody. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, 7's correct.
Okay, let's get her done.
1 second. Do you have KN4 VUW?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you're
okay,
back.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take you then. Go ahead, Megan, and say a few words for us.
I'm Megan Adams, married to Rob Adams, called sign KN4 VUW. And I visited Mike and Key Club in Washington a couple of years ago. I think I've been to one of your field days and a couple of your Saturday morning meetings. And so because of those events, I decided to become a ham person also. So I have just got my license in December and I'm studying to get my general. So.
Okay, great. Thanks, Megan. Any questions or comments?
No, I'm looking forward to the events. You probably would see Rob and I in the summertime because we're kind of, I don't know, Washington snowbirds. So we leave the rain behind and only get a little bit of your summer rain. So hopefully if things go well next year, you'll see us.
Okay, great. Is there any questions or comments from the group here before we go ahead and do our voting here?
No, just to consider me any of your digital ham stuff. I'm not sure how involved you are. So anything with D-Star or WinLink or DMR, I could, definitely consider me so I could remain active within the club.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, Megan, I'm going to add you into the waiting room and we'll do the vote. Thanks.
Thank you.
All righty.
Okay, so with all that being said, we're now up to eight prospective members here, and we'll go ahead and vote on them one at a time here. Let me go ahead and bring that up here on my in the participants list. That's where it is. Yes.
So again, only vote if you're a full member, and we'll be click on the participants tab, and there's a yes green and a no red. So when it's time.
Okay, so the first one we've got up for a vote here is Dave Martinez, KI7 BLV. Go ahead and cast your vote. Or no, wait a minute. Any comments behind his back? That's right. That's right.
Dave has
Where
been really
is
active.
the vote place?
So you click on participants.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a green yes and a red no.
Got it.
And for comments, Dave has been very active in our Zoom meetings and also in the RF meetings. So, and he's already let technology out of one of his radios. So
hey, that's awesome. Gotta love the magic smoke.
Yeah, he knows
He's
about
a
magic
true
ham.
smoke.
He's a great experimenter too. He's diving down several of these I like to call them rat holes.
Yeah.
Rabbit holes. I mean, they'll just eat you up. And he's very good at helping everybody out too. He's been up to the summer gathering, I guess it was, when they talked about all of the mesh stuff and the ham WAN, if I get it right. So he's going to be a good asset.
Yep.
Okay, great. Anything else before we vote? Nope. So go ahead and cast your votes, yes or no.
Okay, Phil, we're at 36.
That is a majority, and so Dave is in.
Okay.
Are we good to go?
Yep. Next
Okay.
one.
Thanks. And the next one here on my list is the first of three Johns, KJ7 KSX. Anybody with anything to say behind his back? Not hearing anything, so I guess we'll just go ahead and move along to the votes here. Go ahead and cast said votes. Yes or no?
Okay, we're at 35.
All right. Thanks, Jim. We got enough. KSX John is in. So we'll move on to KJ7RDV, John. Any comments from the floor?
We met him on the Daily Rag Chew about a week and a half ago. Michelle and I can't remember who else was on, and he was very interesting and extremely gung-ho, so to speak.
Okay, yeah, I believe I told him about the Bragg one on my social net one time. I think that was one of his first check-ins was on my social net. Seems like a very nice guy, very curious and wants to get involved in ham radio. I think that's awesome. Any other comments? Not hearing anything, so I'll go ahead and do the voting part here.
And we're at 35.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. RDB John is in the club. Okay, next one here on my list is Rex. That's Kilo Uniform 2 kilowatt. Any comments from the floor? Not hear anything about Rex, but yeah, he's been a very good. He's also been a long time net check. He's a long time net checker inner, and it's like very nice guy, and it's like he's always has good check-ins and good stuff to say for the net.
Not on Fridays.
Well, he comes on my net. I don't know whether maybe Friday just doesn't work for him. I guess Ivy.
He's been on Tuesday every night for me.
Yeah, most Thursdays too.
He's so laid back. He could run a nice calm net, couldn't he?
Mm-hmm. Nice little rag chew there. Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else? Not hearing anything, so we'll go ahead and do the voting here. Yes or no, please.
All right, we have 35.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jim. Okay, that's Rex is in. And then we move on to KK7 Golf Oscar. That's Ron. Any comments from the floor? Not hearing anything. Seems like a nice enough guy. Sounds pretty knowledgeable too. Been at ham for a little while, so that's great.
Did he say he was going to move over here from Yakima?
It's like, no, he said he was going to come to our big events when they happen. But yeah, it's like, I don't think they just moved to Yakima.
Yeah. Ron had mentioned to me. I said, well, you must be present at one of the meetings, and he goes, oh, well, go ahead and delete my request to join. And I go, but did I tell you that we're doing all meetings on Zoom? And he goes, oh, well, great. So he was excited that we have the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, great. It's definitely increased participation in the meetings for sure, and I think that's awesome. Great that so many people are able to join us on third Saturdays. Okay, not hearing anything else for Ron. Going once. Not hearing anything. Go ahead and cast your votes now, yes or no.
And we have 36 this time.
Okay. Awesome. Ron is in the club. So the next one here I've got is Carl from Florida, KB4ZX. Any comments or questions from the floor?
Carl was excited to join our club and put in his application and immediately paid his dues. And I go, wow, that was cool. Thanks. But we do need to go through the process per the bylaws. And he goes, oh, okay, well, I'm excited. And I go, cool. So he's another out-of-state person and was looking forward to doing more participating in the Zoom meetings.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it sounds very enthusiastic and sounds like he wants to get involved. So that's great. Okay. Any other comments before we vote? Not hearing anything, so go ahead and do so. Cast your votes.
And we've got our 35.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Carl is in the club. Yay. And next one, second to last one here I've got is the third John. That's W7JDK. Any comments?
Yeah, I sponsored John to join the club. He and I grew up together, went through high school together, and our families do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He doesn't toot his own horn much, but he's a certified chemical engineer, and he's very interested in electronics and how things work. So we get our licenses about the same time, and he's very excited about field day, and I know he wants to help for the swap mate. So anyway, I think he'd be a great addition to the club.
Okay, great. Thanks, Robert, for those words. Anybody else with any other comments? Not hearing anything. Go ahead and cast your votes now. Yes or no?
And we have 34 this time.
Okay, majority wins. And John is in the club. And the last but not least, we've got Megan, KN4 Victor Uniform Whiskey, Rob Adams' wife. Go ahead and...
She's coming in as a family member, right? Or family membership.
Correct.
Any other comments from the floor before we vote?
Yeah, and Megan missed the last couple of meetings, so I kept saying, well, give it the next time when you're in, because they're in a different time zone, so making the meeting was a lot more fun. But they made it today. Yeah.
Well, yay. We're glad to have her come in and join us pending the result.
Where does she live, Jim?
They live, Rob and Megan live down in Florida. And I'm not sure exactly where.
I think Orlando.
They say they were snowbirds, so winter they're down there and summer they're up here.
Correct.
Yeah. Winter there, field day here.
Their address is Boca Raton. Their address is Boca Raton.
Boca Raton, okay.
That's right.
Okay. Not anything else? Not hearing anything. Go ahead and cast your votes, yes or no.
And we have 34.
Alrighty.
35.
Great. Thanks, Jim. Megan is in, and you can go ahead and let them all back in because that's all I've got here.
Okay, people are slowly getting back in. Sorry for the long wait, everybody. And you're all voted in.
And
so
yay, congrats and thanks for joining us.
everybody.
Touchdown Seahawks.
Thank you.
So welcome to the club. In the chat room,
Thank you.
there is, for those of you, because there's a few people that have already paid their dues or prematurely, but in the chat room or in the chat box is the link for going up and making the payment online through PayPal or Square Up, and if you want to send a check, you can send it to the PO box. And Steve, Steve has a question. KD7IQL, go ahead.
I'd raised my hand for something else, so never mind.
Okay, sorry, I missed you.
A comment from Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Could I get a picture, a screen capture picture of Megan? I missed you in the introduction.
Oh, okay. How do
Just
I
a
do
second. If you smile.
And we'll grab it.
There we go. Gotcha. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Gotcha.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for allowing me to be a member. Rob and I are actually part of a lot of emergency groups here in Florida, certain meetings. And when we go for, especially when hurricane season is coming up, they always ask what group you belong to. And I'll be very proud to say Mike and Key. While I was studying for my exam, and they asked me if I've ever been to any clubs, and I said Mike and Key. You guys actually have a very strong international, or national, I should say, reputation. So they all knew of you guys. So, so I'm very proud to say I'm now part of your family, and thank you.
Welcome.
Great, we're humbled
So
by
I
your
can change
words,
my
Megan.
pound sign, my bank sign to a asterisk now.
Yeah.
If you want to, go ahead.
So we work a lot of Florida stations on field day.
Oh yeah.
So they know us by call for sure.
Yes, they did. They definitely do. So,
Especially on 40 and 20.
say I'm a member of them. God help you guys.
Well, I don't have anything else for the group here, so I guess I can turn it back over to you, David.
All right. Before we move on, we do need to do a little bit of club business. I would entertain a motion to approve the club meeting minutes as published
right.
in the Relay.
Thanks for catching me on that.
I see Steve. And Sam.
I'll second it.
I think I got one motion in 2 seconds. Hopefully Jim captured those. All right, so all in favor of approving the minutes as published in the Relay, just hit a yes. I think we're good. Thanks,
yeah,
everyone.
34.
Yeah, thanks for catching me on that, David. Almost forgot.
Yeah, it's a team effort here. So just a few more things before we wrap up. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. We're a good 45 minutes later than we would normally be. So Scott, AG7T has a VE team report for us. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So we're starting doing online exams, and if folks need to upgrade or something, you can read the article in the Relay, which has the links to find our sessions, and we'll give you an online exam. If you find that we don't have any sessions that are suitable, you should just send me an email at ag7t@arrl.net and tell me what you need, and maybe I can just put together a session so we can get you upgraded or licensed. So that's really about all I had on that. We're full for our next session. The one on a week from today, I think I have 2 openings in right now. So you can, if you're interested in that, you can go take a look.
It's awesome. Thanks, Scott. Let's see, on to other business. Does anybody have any old business that would be things that we've discussed previously that you'd like to discuss again? I don't think so. I wasn't tracking anything, but I figured I'd check just in case. In the new business, I have a couple items. So the first one is we are looking for a new logo committee chair. So logo committee chair is the person who coordinates pointing club members towards the appropriate vendors for things like club badges, apparel with the club logo on it, those types of things. So our current logo committee chair is looking to relinquish that. So if anybody's interested or has any particular expertise in that area, typically embroidery, I guess, is the thing. Feel free to reach out to myself or any board member. Our contact information is on the club website. And then we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but I figured I'd throw out a good word for net controls. So we're always looking for new net controls. I know we have a lot of new members. Many of them are very active on the various nets. So if you're interested in becoming a net control, I do it at least twice a month. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So, you know, again, feel free to reach out to me or any of the other net controls or board members, and we will we'll hook you up and let you know how it works. But we do have our social net every day and our Wednesday night technical net. So if there's an area that particularly interests you, we'd love to get you into the rotation, whether that's once a month or once a week, whatever fits your schedule.
So David, there's free training and net script that comes along with that.
Yeah, we usually share a script. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
So.
And Mark had his hand up too.
And we have lots of trainers.
Yeah.
We have lots of trainers. Don't be afraid. It's really easy, like Dave said.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of the net controls, but you know, I do I have the Bob Ross theory of of net control. It's happy accidents, right? So it's all good. Everybody's always learning. So anyway, does anybody else have any new business or anything they want to bring up with the club? Don't see any hands raised. Okay. How about anything for the good of the order?
It looks like Rita has her hand up. And Michael.
All right, we'll do Rita first.
Go ahead, Rita. That may have been, there she is.
I'm right here, sorry.
There you go.
I was having trouble closing my participant list and then unmuting me. Well, some of you know, the membership committee know that on Tuesday, I went in and I had a football-sized ovarian tumor removed, and it came back cancer. So they didn't know the size of the tumor. They just knew I was going to go in and have the surgery. We didn't know what I was looking at, but it was my doctor first said it was a loaf of bread size, and I asked her if it was Costco size, and she said no, more football size. So I'm doing really well. I'm home. I got home Thursday afternoon, and Rick and Rochelle taking really good care of me. I'm looking at 4 rounds of chemo, and I don't think I'm going to have radiation at this point. But everything should be all done in 4 months. So I'm going to stay home for that time. I'll be working from home. I'm just going to stay out of the public and just stay safe because I need to get better. And I know you guys are going to be taking care of me as well. I've got a lot of support through my church and my family. So I'll be fine. I will be great. And it's just, here we go again. And I still have all my hats from the last time around. And this is a new primary cancer, so it's not related to the breast cancer I had 2 years ago, which is fantastic.
Our prayers for you, Rita, and again, if there's anything any of the members, just let us know. And
oh, I will let you know.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
all
shy.
here for you.
And Rick will let you know as well. I'm not shy, you know that.
Yeah. Okay, Michael, you mentioned something, and then we'll go to James after that.
Yeah, I just wondered if you would mention, while we still have the majority or a large number of the original people who attend this net, mention please that they need to stay on for the business meeting, because we are dropping down into the 40s again, and we don't want to lose voters to vote on the business items. So if you just ask them to stick around.
Yep, I'll
David
do
is
that.
running very fast meetings, and we don't waste time. So please don't have everybody leave us because they are through with hearing great presentations like Dr. Bob's.
Will do. I'll add that into the mix. Thanks, Michael. James, go ahead.
Are the books in order?
Yes, the books are in order. I've ordered 2 more. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the checkbooks are in order, and I apologize for not getting the spreadsheet out to everybody. I'll hopefully get some time to work on those this weekend. If anybody has any questions as far as budget and spending, just send me an email and I'll add you into the list.
Thank you.
Dave.
Yes, hello. I was wondering if we could provide a summary for what happened at the swap meet meeting a couple days ago. I know Hal's not here, Michael's not here, etc.
Yeah, so I didn't take any notes, but pulling things off of the top of my head. So right now, the current plan is that we're on hold until December. We'll have another meeting in December, and we'll make Hal is in contact with the fairgrounds and see how they're handling things. We are hoping that we can do our event, the swap meet, in March, but right now we are in hold, and we are switching from stuffing envelopes in November to possibly, depending on how things go, putting labels on postcards. So that's all I can remember. I should have had some notes, but I don't.
I seem to remember we were also discussing possibility of not publishing a pamphlet for distribution, but actually making it a PDF available at the website.
Yep. So our comms book that with all the frequencies and events and things that we normally print, we're going to switch gears and go into an all virtual PDF, and that'll be available on the website, and we can also share that in our groups IO. Yep.
And then Michael's looking for a new chair for hospitality.
Yes. Yep.
I heard there was a volunteer.
Well, thanks, Gil.
Thanks,
well,
Gil.
I don't remember the name.
Oh, I thought it was you.
It came up, so just thought I would. Really, it was really grateful. It might have been. Well, I just won't mention the name because I'm not that sure, and I don't want to.
Thanks, Gil, for volunteering.
I don't think anybody's.
I'm not volunteering for anything.
There was some names floated around, but I don't think anybody's been strong-armed yet, so it would be premature to say any names at this time.
Correct. I took some notes, and it's pretty much all been covered from what I just heard. The website is going to get the change of dates and not really posted on what we're doing right on the website until we know a little bit more regards to COVID and stuff. And like it was said, the booklet, it's going to an online process as a PDF. And going to be getting the labels from the ARL at the end of November, and we'll probably be looking at going to a postcard thing, so we won't have a stuffing party like we used to do in November. And discussion with the fairgrounds continues about possibility of a refund guarantee in case the event goes that away. And postcards going to buyers probably here in January. So for the invites. So that's about, I think, what we covered in the meeting. There was 8 of us there, I think. Over.
Thanks, Michelle. David?
Anything else? We don't have anything else I could entertain a motion to end the meeting.
So move.
And I'll second that.
That's Gil and Phil.
Yeah.
All in favor, click yes. All not in favor, click no.
And if you want to hang out after the meeting, you're more than welcome to. I will go ahead and close the recording. As looks like we have 28 people that are ready to close out, and 1 says no, they're ready to stay. All righty.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording, and you're more than welcome to hang out.